All right, welcome back to the channel again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Got this video here. Jim Carrey reveals why Oprah and Diddy feared Michael Jackson. That is the title of this video. Jim Carrey, I always talk about comedians in general. When they get serious, it's kind of like, whoa, because you're so used to seeing them being funny and making you laugh. You know, when they start to talk serious, it's like, it's kind of like shocking, you know? But again, you know, this brother's been around for a long time. I know he's seen a lot that goes on in the industry and behind the scenes. So we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
What if one of the wildest minds in Hollywood just dropped a bombshell that ties together three of the biggest icons in entertainment history in one of the biggest scandals of all time? Jim Carrey, yes. The guy who made us laugh till we cried has allegedly spilled some jaw-dropping insight about why Oprah Winfrey and Sean Combs, aka Diddy, were secretly terrified of none other than Michael Jackson. This isn't your typical celebrity gossip. It's a tangled web of power, paranoia, and the king of pop's untouchable aura.
You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously.
Him doing that sign and then people laughing tells you a lot. You know, a lot of people don't take things serious until serious things happen. He did it right there in plain sight for everyone to see, and they laughed.
Time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lie.
We're peeling back the layers of this alleged revelation, all for entertainment's sake, because let's be honest, nothing's confirmed, but everything's intriguing. So let's jump into this roller coaster of a story and see where it takes us. Jim Carrey is no stranger to speaking his mind. The man who brought us Ace Ventura and The Mask has spent recent years getting real, ditching the spotlight for painting and dropping truth bombs about fame. According to this supposed insider scoop, Jim has been reflecting on his own brushes with the elite, and Michael Jackson's name has come up in a big way. He allegedly claims that both Oprah and Diddy, titans in their own right, lived in awe and unease around Michael, not because of his moonwalk or his glove, but because of what he represented, a cultural juggernaut who could sway the world, and maybe knew too much. Let's start with Michael. The guy was a phenomenon, selling out stadiums, rewriting music history, and living a life so surreal that it's still dissected decades later. By the 90s, he was untouchable, a global force with a mystique that made him more myth than man. Jim, who crossed paths with Michael during Hollywood's golden haze, reportedly said that Michael had an energy that rattled people, not just fans. Power players too. Oprah, the media queen, and Diddy, the rising rap mogul, were allegedly among those who felt it. But why were they afraid of him? What could the guy singing Billie Jean possibly hold over them? Oprah's part in this is juicy. She built an empire on connection, interviews that bared souls and made her a household name. She sat down with Michael in 1993 at Neverland, a primetime special that pulled 90 million viewers. It was huge. Michael opening up about his skin, his childhood, and his solitude.
Just recently there was a story, and I know one of your attorneys held a news conference. There was a story about you wanting to have a little white boy play you in a Pepsi commercial.
That is so that's the most ridiculous, horrifying story I've ever heard. It's crazy. I mean, why? Number one, it's my face as a child in the commercial. Me when I was little. Why would I want a white child to play me? I'm a black American. I'm proud to be a black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity. That's like you wanting an Oriental person to play you as a child. Does that make sense?
No.
So please, people, stop believing these
Michael,
horrifying
then
stories.
let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think It has caused a great deal of speculation and controversy as to what you have done or are doing. Are you bleaching your skin? And is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to...
Okay, number one.
Don't she? Oh my goodness, man. You know, this brother stayed so calm. I don't know, man. Like I said before, as you get older and wiser, man, you start to really see people for who they are. You go, damn, I can't believe I was supporting this person. Like, I guess, you know, when you're younger, you get so caught up in the Oprah Winfrey and her giveaways, giving all this stuff away. Same thing with like Ellen, man. And next thing you know, you start to see the other side of them that's always been there. Always.
We sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are. Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller, sometime.
And what did you think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad. I don't want to go into my medical history because that's something that's private, but that's the situation here. So please, when people see something like that.
I just want to get this straight. You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin?
Oh God, no.
He said no.
I'm trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me. I'm a great fan of art. I love Michelangelo. If I had a chance to talk to him or read about him, I would want to know about what inspired him to become who he is, the anatomy of his craftsmanship, not about who he went out with last night or why he decided to sit out in the sun so long. What's wrong with, I mean, that's what's important.
Yeah, we weren't wealthy, but we weren't poor. My father always prepared for the family, as well as my mother. Always wonderful. And that's very important. They made sure we, got the right things for ourselves. Strong parents, I think, are very important, especially in our situation.
Well, on stage for me was home. I was most comfortable, and still most comfortable, on stage. But once I got off stage, I was like very sad.
Really?
Yes.
And sad from the beginning? Sad since it first started, since
Lonely, sad, having to face with popularity and all of that.
But Jim supposedly hinted that there was tension.
Man, you know, Michael, what did they say? He's the most famous person after Jesus. That's what they say. Just imagine being such, a star, like, as a kid, all the way up into the day he died. Like, this dude was mega, like the ultimate level of fame. You could literally, people would faint when they would see him. But he was also extremely shy, and it's like he was on that stage so much that he didn't know nothing else. So it's like you get out there in the public and everybody's screaming and that stuff. I know it was extremely overwhelming, man, beyond overwhelming. You can't go nowhere. You can't do nothing. I mean, you see it with some of these streamers. Like, you see the one kid, Speed, when he show up and you can barely get out the damn car. So Michael Jackson is like 100 million times that.
Beneath the smiles, Oprah allegedly saw Michael as a wild card. To her, he was someone that she couldn't fully read or control. His cryptic vibe and his refusal to play by anyone's rules allegedly spooked her.
Out of singing, wait.
Yeah. And when you are, for instance, when
This
we
is
were
so
here
funny.
before,
Keep ignoring her.
you know what? I mean, all the things ever printed in the tabloid, the only thing's ever been true is when they said I couldn't dance.
It
When we were
doesn't
here the
seem to
last time
matter,
shooting
and
the
it
commercial,
doesn't
you
seem
were like
the
in
wheel is
between
right
shots,
on, but
running
you
off,
still like
conceiving the
crying
dance,
again.
choreographing the
And
dance. You were up all night dancing.
70, and she didn't leave.
She thrived on transparency, but Michael thrived on mystery. It was a clash of titans, right there. Then there's Diddy. Back in the 90s, he was climbing fast. Bad Boy Records was exploding, Biggie was king, and Diddy was the maestro. But Michael was already a legend. They moved in overlapping circles, award shows, parties, the whole scene. Jim allegedly says that Diddy admired Michael, but also saw him as a threat.
We're listening to Mike right now. Obviously, you know, this is a really sad time right now, but we're celebrating his life. Your thoughts right now on the situation and the timing of this tragedy?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's just somebody that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I'll always love and cherish.
Not musically, Diddy wasn't trying to outsing him, but in terms of clout. Michael's influence was massive, and Diddy couldn't reach those heights. The insider twist? Jim claims that Diddy worried that Michael knew secrets, industry dirt, maybe even personal stuff that could derail anyone's rise. This is all alleged, of course, but it paints a picture. So what's Jim's angle here? He's not exactly buddies with Oprah or Diddy these days. He's gone full philosopher, railing against Hollywood's phoniness and calling out egos left and right. Michael, to Jim, was a kindred spirit, a genius chewed up by fame. This supposed reveal might be Jim projecting, using Michael's legacy to jab at the power structures he's soured on. Or maybe he's just stirring the pot, knowing that we'll lap it up. Either way, he's allegedly framing Oprah and Diddy as players who feared Michael's unpredictability and his knack for staying one step ahead. Let's dig into Oprah's side. That 1993 interview wasn't her only Michael moment. She also covered his trials, his passing, and even aired that controversial doc later on. Publicly, she was respectful but detached. Privately, Jim's alleged take is that she saw Michael as a loose cannon. His wealth, his fan base, his ability to shift narratives. It's like he held a mirror to her own power, but wilder. If he ever turned on her or anyone, it'd be chaos. No proof, just vibes. But imagine Oprah, queen of control, sweating over a guy who lived in a theme park with a chimp. Diddy's fear, according to Jim, was more primal. He was building an empire when Michael was already a dynasty. Think about it. Diddy's parties were legendary, but Michael's life was the party. Extravagant, bizarre, and untamed.
You know, when I watch these type of videos, and you don't really, like, they'll say that Jim said this or Jim said that, and you don't actually see them say it. Part of me, I'll be like 60-40, maybe 70-30. Like 70% was like, nah, he didn't say this. But that other 30% is like, maybe he said this off the record and somebody leaked it. Because the stuff be accurate, it's just you don't actually hear them say it. But people, look, man, people be talking. People be having conversations, man. And some people get information and they'll put it out there, you know. And then people be like, damn, I can't believe this dude or this woman actually repeated what we said in private, you know. So don't be extremely shocked if this stuff is true, if it actually came from him, but it's alleged.
Jim supposedly says that Diddy picked up on whispers, Michael's ties to moguls, his quiet chats with the elite. Did Michael have leverage? Did he have dirt on deals? Maybe even on Diddy's early hustle? It's a stretch, but not impossible. Diddy has always played the game smart, but Michael didn't play it at all. That alone could have rattled him. Now, Jim is not pulling this out of thin air. He and Michael had history. They met at events and shared laughs. Jim even mimicked Michael's moves in sketches. He's called Michael a martyr before, a guy crushed by scrutiny. This alleged reveal builds on that. Jim painting Michael as a figure so towering that even giants like Oprah and Diddy flinched. But here's the catch. There are no recordings or quotes proving any of this. We just have so-called sources saying that Jim said all this. It could all just be a fever dream from a fan forum, or a kernel of truth from a man who's done with the facade. The why matters. Michael's power wasn't just fame, it was perception. He could drop an album and shift culture overnight. Oprah ruled TV, Diddy ruled hip-hop, But Michael, he ruled hearts and headlines. Jim's alleged take is that they feared his unpredictability and his knack for dodging the boxes that they'd mastered. Oprah couldn't package him, and Diddy couldn't outshine him. And if Michael knew things, secrets from the 80s and 90s when the industry was a Wild West, well, that's a loaded card to hold. Skeptics will scoff. Oprah is too savvy to fear anyone. She's faced down worse. And Diddy? He's weathered scandals that'd sink most. Michael was eccentric, sure, but a threat? Maybe Jim's romanticizing a ghost. Michael has been gone since 2009, leaving a legacy ripe for myth-making. Oprah's empire has evolved, and Diddy is now fighting legal battles that dwarf old rivalries. This fear could be hindsight spice from a guy who loves a good story. No receipts, just vibes. Perfect for a late-night scroll. But let's entertain it. Picture the 90s. Michael is at his peak, Oprah is ascending, and Diddy is hungry. MJ's got the world in his palm. Fans who'd riot for him. Cash to burn, and a voice that cuts through noise. Oprah is building trust, while Diddy is building cred.
Now, Oprah and Diddy are actually friends, as they've been spotted together plenty of times. They've attended charity events, been spotted at award shows, at Diddy's infamous parties, and Oprah even had him as a guest on her talk show back in the day. But when he was a guest, it was just, well,
Michael's chaos, like his lawsuits and all the rumors, only amplifies his pull. If he ever weaponized that, or even hinted that he might, it'd shake anyone's game. Jim's alleged spin? They didn't just fear him, they feared what he could undo. The public is split. X posts range from Jim spilling real tea to he's lost it. Fans love a conspiracy. Michael as the puppet master, Oprah and Diddy as pawns.
Now, it seems like Oprah has a pattern of being friends with some rich and powerful and problematic men, as this is not the first time people have noticed her choice in questionable friends. And with Oprah being as powerful as she is, people have started to question whether she's been directly involved in some of the crimes that have been happening in Hollywood. In 2020, rumors were going around that Oprah's house had been raided and she had been arrested in connection to many crimes. In a tweet though, she responded and said, "Just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true."
Others say that it's all nonsense. Two moguls scared of a pop star? Please, without Jim on record, it's a ghost story. Oprah is not commenting. She's too busy living her best life. Diddy's got bigger fish to fry. Federal charges, not old Michael tales. And Jim? He's painting, smirking, and letting us run with it.
But I felt like that, life is too short. I want to move on. I want to create. I want to, annoy people that are, businessmen that want to take advantage of me.
So where's the truth? Maybe nowhere. This is all alleged, all fun. A what if to chew on. Did Oprah and Diddy really fear Michael's shadow? Or is Jim just riffing on legends? Michael's mystique makes it believable. He was that big. Oprah's control, Diddy's ambition, they're human enough to flinch. Jim is the wild card, tossing this grenade and watching it pop. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Did Michael really scare Oprah and Diddy? Or is this just Jim's latest performance? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.
You know what? I'll say this. For Jim Carrey, again, he's a comedian, so it's like how serious are people going to take him? When he did that whole symbol on the Jimmy Kimmel show, my whole thing is this. A person who will publicly come out and speak the truth, they will try to paint them in a negative way. Now, everybody's, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but most people are, saying that Michael Jackson's death was kind of sketchy, and we already know Oprah, her ties with people in the industry, the Harvey Weinsteins, that other doctor dude, the whole Maui fire situation, and then her being around Diddy. I mean, it's not too hard to believe. I just think it's who it's coming from. They're like, what, Jim Carrey? What does he know about? Look, man, people be talking. Again, this stuff is alleged. It's alleged. This is true. But people be talking behind the scenes, and, them stories be coming out. I mean, why do you think they take people's phones when they go to parties? Why do you think they have people sign NDAs when they have parties? You know, because they don't want truths coming out. Like, share, comment below. Tell me what y'all think. All right, peace out.